imagine you're like 7, you just learned how to read, and your parents give you that book. Being traumatized at the age of 7, that is
Well, that's
not
exactly how it happened for me.
Why would you die and turn into salt just because you look back for a second? Imagine this. I was running from an earthquake, and then I look back, and then I'm like... Imagine that.
Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans. Welcome to the attic, and as you can see, I have some special guests with me for this video.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and this is Julia, my little sister. She's crazy and she bites people.
Is that true, Julia? Do you bite people?
She's trying to do such
Julia, no bite. You don't need to demonstrate. So, Julia,
don't demonstrate.
Julia, darling, what do you have to say to all the people?
If I say,
Yeah.
she's gonna be.
How old are you? How old are you, Julia?
4. She's gonna be making.
She's 4 years old, and
she's
so
gonna be
as a
making
result,
appearances in the future.
as a result, this video is not going to be for her. So we're going to say goodbye now. Thank you, Julia. Have fun watching.
You're gonna see her. You're gonna see her in the future. So don't worry. You're gonna see her again.
Have fun watching Bluey. Okay. Right, come closer.
Yeah.
Right, so, Jessica, we're going to be talking today about
Baloney.
This book which you call Baloney. So, tell us why we're going to be talking about this book.
There was an incident where I was joking about brains and eyes and stuff, and then my grandma suddenly started...
Just let's back up. How were you joking about brains and eyes?
I was joking about her being new brains and eyes because I do that all the time.
So you
It's
just joked
joking.
that she needed new brains and new eyes.
Yeah, and then she started talking about Armageddon and paradise and seeing her son and talking about his mom, which is very messed up, very sick, very crazy. And then I told him, and then he and my grandma started a war between the entire family. So now my family is at war with each other.
Well, I think that's over-dramatising things a little bit. I had strong words to say to your grandma.
Yes.
And hopefully she will think twice before trying again to indoctrinate you. But you're right, she was talking about
Baloney.
The paradise.
And baloney.
Not only was she talking about welcoming back her deceased son, but she was also talking about my dead mother, who she never even met, in her efforts to manipulate you. So I obviously had a lot to say to her, and that's caused a bit of tension, but so be it. She doesn't get to use her time alone with you to try to preach to you or indoctrinate you.
Or baloney me.
So what I decided to do, just to kind of reinforce to Jessica that this isn't true, because I think at one point, didn't you say, what if it's true?
Yes, but then I keep saying in my brain, it isn't real, so I don't believe it.
But you did say at one point, what if it's true? So what I thought I'd do was, when they come to stay with me, which was the whole point of me going to Jessica's, to the home where they live with their grandparents, was to collect them. I thought, well, when I bring them to Zagreb, I'm going to go through some books, or I'm going to go through with Jessica some books just to show her what all of this is about, so she can be forewarned. And I decided to go through my book of Bible stories, and I thought what we could do is just go through it again, and you share some of your thoughts as someone who hasn't been raised in all of this.
Yes.
So we're going to look first at this picture, which is
Baloney.
which is lesson 2 I'm going to flash a quick picture on the screen for each lesson so the viewers know which picture we're talking about. So what are we looking at here?
Baloney.
Well, don't just say baloney to everything, darling.
Okay.
What's exactly?
A garden, a beautiful garden that is totally made up with talking snakes.
Yeah, that's, I think, the take-home message when I explained to you the whole story of Adam and Eve. Yeah. And I explained that there was a talking snake who spoke to Eve. That was, I think, the part that stuck in your mind. So this is the Garden of Eden. And, okay, thank you, Jessica.
Snake.
So this is an interesting picture in Lesson 6. Yeah. Jessica, what are we looking at in Lesson 6?
People dying with blood.
Yeah. Do you think this is age appropriate?
Absolutely not. Kids should be raised with fun pictures and unicorns and rainbows.
So yeah, this is Cain and Abel, and Abel lying in a pool of blood. So that's supposed to be the first time anyone ever murdered another person, which I don't think is quite historically accurate. Then we have the story of Noah. Do you remember what I told you about this? This is lesson 10.
The drowning, everyone drowned.
Yeah. Do you think that's a nice thing for children to be seeing?
No, except for me. Well, I can handle that kind of thing because I watched Wednesday, and let me tell you,
You've watched what?
Wednesday.
What's Wednesday?
It's a show with gruesome stuff.
Oh dear.
I can handle it, but other kids may not be able to handle it, and that's bad. Pro tip, if you are not a part of it, and you have people that try to make you believe in that sort of stuff, just say, it isn't real, it isn't real, it isn't real. That's how you stay out of it. Just say it isn't real 2,000,000 times every second in your brain, and then you won't believe in it. That's how I got through 9 years of my life.
What's happening here in the picture?
A mother holding a baby.
So the mother and the baby are about to drown, aren't they? That's a nice thought. And so yeah, this is the flood of Noah's day, and
is that the big box with all the animals in the world?
Yeah. So can we go to Zagreb Zoo an awful lot, so
yeah,
you have some idea of how many animals there are, don't you? Do you think it's possible that every single animal and insect can fit in the box?
Absolutely not. You need an infinite box of infinity to do that.
It's literally a microphone.
Okay.
The job of which is to amplify your voice.
To make that possible, you'd need an infinite box of infinity that's as big as the entire planet, which is impossible.
Do you remember me explaining this picture to you? This is lesson 14 about Abraham.
Wait, Abraham?
His name's Abraham. What's he holding?
Abraham Lincoln?
No, what's he holding?
A sword. He tries to kill his son because a voice in his head tells him to do that, but then it says at the last minute stop, and that's supposed to mean he's a good man to listen to some crazy thing in his head that's controlling him.
So if I kind of tied you up and put you on a stack of sticks and blindfolded you and said, I'm going to kill you now, darling, and then at the last minute I said, oh, actually, a voice told me not to, how would you feel about me?
I would throw you in a pit of fire.
Okay, but you wouldn't be happy, would you? It would be quite a traumatic thing.
I'd be so fuming mad I could light an entire house on fire.
This is lesson 15. What's happening here?
A lady just looks back for a second at her town being destroyed, and she turns to salt. Now that is bad, because why would you die and turn into salt just because you look back for a second? Imagine this. I was running from an earthquake, and then I look back, and then I'm like... Imagine that. Imagine all that.
So I think it's safe to say that murdering someone for simply looking in the wrong direction is worse than looking in the wrong direction, isn't it? Okay, so that's another story from the Bible. I'm just going to flick forward.
Silly break.
What's happening here in lesson 33?
Oh, I was doing my silly break.
I know.
Another flood, but some people are being saved. Well, it's like some guys go to war, but then this guy makes flood and makes the water go in a different direction, and then they all die, which is very bad for kids. Imagine you're like 7, you just learned how to read, and your parents give you that book. Being traumatized at the age of 7, that is
Well, that's
not
exactly how it happened for me and for many people watching this video. We were given this book to read when we were children, and we were asked to look at this picture of soldiers drowning because they're chasing after the Egyptians, after the Israelites, and the Red Sea closes in on them. So we have to think about what it would be like for the sea to come in on us when we're on our horses.
Silly mustache face.
Right, we're going to fast forward a little bit now because I can already see that this is an interesting one. So this is lesson 46. You've not seen this one yet.
Okay, show me.
So this is a city called Jericho. And the story here is that they wanted to defeat the city. So they marched the army around the city. Was it 10 times or something? And then after they finished marching round, the entire city collapses. And you can see people falling from the tops of the walls because the walls collapsing, so they're falling to their deaths.
Why did it collapse?
And
they marched around 10 times. Like, watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It didn't collapse.
Actually, it was 6 days. It was 7 times. I stand
1, 2,
corrected.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Right.
It didn't collapse.
Darling, so they march around it 7 times. Can you see a part of the city that's not fallen down?
That part.
So that part doesn't fall down because one woman is nice to them, so she gets to survive, but all of the other ones have to die. So it's a little bit like the story of Noah's flood, all about death. And if you do the right thing, you'll magically survive.
Bad.
And this is the sort of story that we grew up with.
Baloney. That is
Here's a fun one.
Baloney.
What can you read what this says? Because you can read now, can't you? What does this say?
The sun stands still.
Correct, and it's lesson 49. So what happens here is these soldiers are fighting, killing people, and they run out of daylight for seeing what they're doing because they need to be able to see to kill people. So they ask God to keep the sun in the sky for longer, so the sun stands still so that they have enough light to carry on killing people. Does that make sense to you?
No.
Because the earth is spinning around the sun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like the sun is magically going over us like in Minecraft. So in order for the sun to stand still, the earth would have to literally stop spinning around the sun in space, which would have all sorts of catastrophic consequences. So, yeah, it's physically impossible for that to happen. What does this say?
Jephthah's promise.
Jephthah's promise. Okay. Can you read some of it for me? Jephthah. Just say Jephthah.
Jephthah. People to fight against bad Ammonites. Jephthah was very much for Jehovah to help him in the fight, so he promises Jehovah, if you will give me victory over the Amnoticalugans, the first person that comes out of my house to meet me when I return. Oh wait, Mama told me about this story.
Yeah, when I return from the victory.
The first one to greet me will die.
Yeah, so what did Mama tell you about it?
Mama said about the story where some guy asked the God or the Jehovah to have him win, and the first one to greet him from the house would die.
Yeah, and so what happened is
The daughter came out first, and his daughter died.
according to what it says in the Bible, he burned his daughter. But what Jehovah's Witnesses teach is that he mustn't have burnt his daughter. It must mean that she became a nun, or she went to work in a temple for the rest of her life, which isn't what the Bible says. So Jehovah's Witnesses actually change what's in the Bible to make it sound less terrible.
Yeah.
Are you playing with my beard?
Yes.
What's happening here? Lesson 54.
The strongest man, oh yeah, I seen that. He collapses the building because he thought that was the right thing to do because he's strong.
What's happening here?
People dying.
People dying, people falling to their death.
That is bad for children.
Bad. Nice, is it?
Bad.
Jessica, you don't need to shout into the mic. I can hear the audio. And I can hear how clearly you're coming through. What's happening here? Why is King Solomon, lesson 63?
The guy says to Alright, the mothers couldn't decide whose baby it was, so then the king was like, okay, kill the baby, and then the lady was like, no, give it to the other lady, and then they knew that was the lady that the baby belongs to, so they were threatening to kill a child just to know whose it was.
Do you think that's wise?
No.
I don't know.
Only an idiot with 0% IQ would do that. Zero.
If you didn't have this context, if you didn't kind of realise, if it wasn't explained to you that this is wrong, how would it make you feel to be sat down in front of this picture and see a soldier waving a sword at a baby and be told this is a good thing to do?
I'd immediately drop the book and go to my mom and cry in her arms.
And what's the story here? So this is lesson 66.
They thought the lady was a witch, so they threw it out of a window.
Sort of, yeah.
It's like, okay, we think you're a witch, so yeet! Goodbye, we're never gonna see you again. Sassy Karen talk.
What can you see here the soldiers have?
Swords.
No, what do they have there? What's that?
A dog?
So the idea is that the dog's going to eat her once she's fallen.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That is animal cruelty!
Now this is an interesting picture on page 71. What are we looking at now?
Alright, so he explained to me that when he was a kid, he was promised that if he believed in some make-believe guy that lived in the sky, he would survive some kind of Armageddon thing where the Earth is destroyed and it's like... If he believed in him, he would survive that and go to these.
So what are we looking at? What's in paradise?
Elephant, water, little cute fishies, animals.
What can you see? What the animals are? So it's a lion and a
lion, sheep, elephant, cow, baby cow, tiger, a bunch of other sheep, some kinds of birds. I don't know which kinds of birds. I can't tell which. Another birds and.
The point is that all of the animals are living together in harmony. So normally a lion would eat a lamb, wouldn't it?
Yes.
But they believe that in the paradise, lions will no longer want to eat lambs, they'll eat only grass. So all of the animals that we've seen in Zagreb Zoo, like the crocodiles and the snakes, they won't be interested in eating meat anymore. Does that make sense to you?
No.
But this is basically the paradise that Yubaki was talking about. And it's a paradise where everybody who isn't a Jehovah's Witness, including me,
and my sister, and my mom,
we all get killed, so that the Jehovah's Witnesses can have the planet to themselves, effectively. Does that sound reasonable to you?
No, and plus you can just go there. You just fly on a plane.
Yeah.
You're at paradise. Except there aren't any lions.
That was a point that you made, actually, when we were talking about this last night. You said, but because we were looking at a different picture of paradise, and you said, but Daddy, places like that already exist. And I said, I know. It's just that when you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're so busy working for your leaders, and
you don't get to go to those.
You don't have the time or the money to go to these parts of the world that are already beautiful and already exist. You just don't have time or money.
So, people are making us believe in some make-believe guy. And making us believe that we're going to survive some apocalypse. And make us not celebrate fun things, even though that doesn't exist and we can already do fun things. So people are basically just making our lives miserable.
Yeah.
I hate that. Wait, how long is this book?
Well, we can skip through, I think, pretty much all of the rest of it. The rest of it is the stories of Jesus. That's an interesting one. Lesson 101.
See, that one, we talk about that in school all the time. It's about some kind of guy that gets tied up for believing in space and stuff, and then one day there's a storm, and then he gets.
I don't think that's the story of Jesus.
Well, that's what I hear in school, and
for believing in space.
Wait, no, not space. I think like science and stuff. I don't know. The point is, he believes in something that the Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in, and he gets tied up, and then one day a storm comes, and then it's like.
I think you might be confusing it with another story, darling. This is supposed to be Jesus. So you go to a school in a Catholic country where you're surrounded by Catholics, and they believe that Jesus died on a T-shape cross, whereas Jehovah's Witnesses insist that it wasn't a T-shape, it was like a straight line, like this.
No, it was a T-shape. That's what they believed in my school.
Yeah.
And there are those kinds of little statues and paintings and all that kind of stuff all around the school. There's a little hang up thingy in our classroom of this. Except it wasn't a line, it's a T shape.
Yeah. But how do you feel as a child about seeing a nail through someone's hand and all the blood dripping down his arm?
I want my mommy.
Yeah, it's not a nice thing to look at, is it?
Yeah, I steal you now. I'm gonna take you to my underground secret base. Haha.
Sweetheart, okay.
No.
Thank you. But the point is that all of this is intended to scare you and to frighten you. Because if you feel scared and frightened, you're less likely to think about things clearly and logically.
Wait, I saw something. Yeah. I saw something that interests me.
Right.
What?
All right, this is lesson 105, waiting in Jerusalem. They've all got flames on top of their heads because apparently that's what the Holy Spirit does, is it creates a little flame on top of your head. Interestingly, that never happens nowadays, even though the leaders of Jehovah's Witnesses are supposed to be guided by the Holy Spirit. We never see flames on their heads. But back then, that was apparently how it happened. They all had flames on top of their heads.
Then it would be a lot easier to see people that believe in a stupid God.
Well, any kind of evidence that we could actually point to and say, oh, right, okay, well...
Yesterday, we saw some guy dressed in all orange, 2 nuns, and... Wait, what was it again? What was the last thing? And a lady with a dog showing people calendars of the big God guy thing.
Oh, right, that was in Zagreb, wasn't it? They were selling Catholic calendars. This is lesson 114. This is supposed to be Jesus riding in the heavens in storm clouds with lightning at Armageddon. It says, what's the title there?
The end of all banners. Oh, I get it now. Yeah. All right, I'm assuming it's like he destroys all the people that don't believe in him.
Right, that's basically what it's talking about. It's talking about Armageddon. Now, in this particular book, they don't show you Armageddon, but I've shown you other books where they do show you Armageddon, haven't I? And can you describe what the pictures were showing?
Buildings destroying getting destroyed, lightning, people falling in cracks.
Yeah.
Things children shouldn't be seeing. Poop.
Yeah. It was pretty messed up, wasn't it? So this is apparently the way to end. Apparently, the way to end badness is to kill billions of people. Isn't that a bad thing, though?
This guy over here, this big, very muscly guy, said that. Wait, what was it again?
Anyway, there's lightning. He's waving a sword, and the idea is that he's going to basically kill you.
Oh yeah, now I remember. So this big buff guy over here says that the snake kills less people than God. God kills 2,101 people, and the snake only kills like 6 or something.
Yeah, I made the point that if you actually count how many people God kills in the Bible compared to how many people Satan kills, God kills way more people than Satan.
The snake.
The snake, yeah. So here's the final one we're going to talk about.
The snake is biting you.
Lesson 115.
Snake biting.
Read it.
A new paradise on earth. Oh yeah, this is what I know about. Yeah, the paradise, and now there's a deer and lions and.
Hi, Julesy. Almost finished. I'll be through in a bit, darling. Almost finished.
Come over here.
No, don't call it.
Okay.
Don't
look.
Jessica, so what's interesting here is all of the people on this picture are dressed in 1970s clothing because this book was made in the 1970s and they believed that the end was coming in the 1970s, but guess what? The end never came.
And it never will, because it's a bunch of baloney.
Does the clothing look odd to you as a child in 2024?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's going to get more and more odd as time goes on because obviously Armageddon isn't coming. Okay, I think you've done very, very well to sit through all of that without saying baloney all the time.
Baloney.
Not to go on about it, but what did we tell you to do next time your grandma tries to preach you?
Immediately, I say, hold on, I just need to get something. I get my phone. I'm like, ding-ding-ding-ding. Hello, Mom. Say this to my mother.
Yeah. So next time she tries to do that, immediately call either your mummy or your daddy. And
whack evil talking snakes on the head.
Right.
Talking snake.
Darling.
Talking snake.
You've done very, very well. We're coming up on half an hour. Thank you so much for. You said that you wanted to come on my channel, didn't you?
Yes, and next time we're gonna talk about a boat that should be talked about, but no one even knows about it.
Intriguing. So look out for that. We're going to talk about a boat. But for now,
a very heroic boat.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Lloyd Evans channel for
and poke him in the
similar
beard.
videos. But that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to say goodbye.
Goodbye.